There is a journey that every chosen one must travel. Not the journey the church teaches, salvation, baptism, good works, heaven, but the actual journey Jesus taught his inner circle. The three distinct stages of spiritual awakening that transform a sleeping soul into a liberated being capable of escaping the Archonic prison. These three stages are not optional. They are not random. They are the precise developmental path that every pneumatic, every soul with the divine spark, must complete to break free from this realm. Most chosen ones are currently stuck in stage 1, believing they have awakened when they have barely begun. Some reach stage 2 and plateau there, mistaking progress for completion. Very few reach stage 3, where actual liberation becomes possible. Jesus walked this path himself. He demonstrated all three stages, and he taught his disciples the markers of each stage so they could recognize where they were and what was required to advance. The institutional church buried this teaching because if Christians understood the three stages, they would recognize that church attendance and moral behavior do not constitute awakening. They would see that they are being kept deliberately at stage 1, distracted from the real work required for liberation. Tonight, I will reveal the three stages of awakening Jesus taught. I will show you the characteristics of each stage, the challenges you will face, and the work required to advance. And I will help you identify where you are right now on this journey, because knowing your stage is the first step to completing it, and completing all three stages is the only way out of the prison.
Understanding the awakening journey. Before we examine the three stages, understand this. Awakening is not an event. It is a process. It is not something that happens to you. It is something you do through consistent spiritual practice, through facing your shadow, through accumulating energy and raising frequency until consciousness breaks through to higher levels. The journey has a natural progression. You cannot skip stages. Trying to jump to stage 3 without completing stage 1 and 2 always fails. Each stage builds on the previous one. Each stage has specific work that must be done. Most humans never even begin stage 1. They live and die completely asleep, identified with their material existence, never questioning whether there is more to reality. The Hylics, souls without divine spark, cannot awaken. They are purely material consciousness, content with physical existence. But chosen ones, pneumatics with the divine spark, are called to this journey. Something in you knows you are meant to wake up. That knowing is your divine spark recognizing its true home beyond this prison realm. The three stages Jesus taught are Stage 1, the dark night, crisis and questioning. Stage 2, the illumination, recognition and practice. Stage 3, the liberation, sovereignty and mission. Each stage is essential. Each stage is difficult. Each stage eliminates souls who are not ready to continue. But for those who persist, the three stages lead to complete freedom.
Understanding the awakening journey. Before we examine the three stages, understand this. Awakening is not an event. It is a process. It is not something that happens to you. It is something you do. Through consistent spiritual practice, through facing your shadow, through accumulating energy and raising frequency until consciousness breaks through to higher levels. The journey has a natural progression. You cannot skip stages. Trying to jump to stage 3 without completing stage 1 and 2 always fails. Each stage builds on the previous one. Each stage has specific work that must be done. Most humans never even begin stage 1. They live and die completely asleep, identified with their material existence, never questioning whether there is more to reality. The Hylics, souls without divine spark, cannot awaken. They are purely material. Stage 1. The Dark Night. Crisis and questioning. Stage 1 begins with a crisis, not a minor setback, a crisis so profound that your entire worldview collapses. Everything you believed about life, about yourself, about God, about reality, it all falls apart. This is not depression. This is not a mental breakdown. This is the necessary destruction of false structures so that truth can emerge. The dark night arrives differently for different souls. For some, it is loss, death of a loved one, end of a relationship, career collapse, health crisis. For others, it is existential, a sudden recognition that nothing in life has meaning, that the world is not what you were taught, that something is deeply wrong with reality itself. But however it arrives, the dark night has the same effect. It forces you to question everything. Characteristics of Stage 1. You question reality itself. The world's explanations no longer satisfy you. Politics, religion, science, all of it feels like surface-level distraction from deeper truth. You feel profound alienness. You have always felt different, but now the feeling intensifies. You do not belong here. This is not your home. You experience ego dissolution. Your identity structures begin cracking. Who you thought you were, your roles, your story, your self-concept, it all feels false. You seek truth obsessively. You cannot stop searching. You read, research, watch videos, explore spirituality, mysticism, conspiracy, anything that might explain what you are experiencing. You feel isolated. Friends and family do not understand what you are going through. They think you are depressing, negative, going through a phase. You are profoundly alone. This is the dark night of the soul, and it is brutal. Most souls try to escape it. They rush back to comfort, to distraction, to the old beliefs. They medicate, they numb, they refuse to continue. But chosen ones, even in agony, cannot stop. The divine spark within you knows this crisis is necessary. It is the death before rebirth. It is the fire that burns away everything false so that truth can emerge. The work of Stage 1? Stop trying to escape the crisis. Sit in it. Feel it. Let everything false burn away. Question relentlessly. Do not accept easy answers. Do not rush to new belief systems to replace old ones. Stay in the question. Begin spiritual practice, meditation, breath work, prayer. Not to fix the crisis, but to create space to hear what is emerging. Journal obsessively. Write down everything you are questioning, everything you are feeling, everything you are discovering. Let the ego die. Do not cling to who you thought you were. Let that identity dissolve. What remains after it dies is what you actually are. What Jesus taught about Stage 1. Jesus said, "Unless a grain of wheat falls to the ground and dies, it remains alone. But if it dies, it produces much fruit," in John 12:24. He was teaching about the necessary death, the dark night that precedes awakening. He spent 40 days in the wilderness, being tempted, tested, stripped of illusions. He demonstrated that Stage 1 requires isolation, suffering, and the death of false self. He told his disciples, "Take up your cross and follow me," in Matthew 16:24. He was not speaking metaphorically. Stage 1 is crucifixion of the ego. It is painful. It is necessary. Duration of Stage 1. Stage 1 typically lasts 1 to 3 years, though it can be shorter or longer depending on how resistant you are to the process. You know you have completed Stage 1 when the crisis resolves not into new certainty, but into deeper acceptance. You stop needing answers. You accept that you do not know. You recognize the dark night as a gift, not a punishment. And you feel the first stirrings of something beyond ego, a presence, a knowing, a spark of divinity emerging from the ashes of who you thought you were. Consciousness, content with physical existence. But chosen ones, pneumatics with the divine spark, are called to this journey. Something in you knows you are meant to wake up. That knowing is your divine spark recognizing its true home beyond this prison realm. The 3 stages Jesus taught are Stage 1, the dark night, crisis and questioning. Stage 2, the illumination, recognition and practice. Stage 3, the liberation, sovereignty and mission. Each stage is essential. Each stage is difficult. Each stage eliminates souls who are not ready to continue. But for those who persist, the 3 stages lead to complete freedom.
Stage 2, the illumination, recognition and practice. Stage 2 begins when you start having direct spiritual experiences that confirm there is more to reality than the material world. These experiences are not beliefs. They are not concepts. They are direct encounters with the divine, with higher dimensions, with truth that bypasses the intellect and strikes the soul directly. This is gnosis, direct knowing that does not require external validation. Characteristics of Stage 2. You have mystical experiences, visions, downloads of information, profound synchronicities, encounters with divine presence, moments of unity consciousness where boundaries dissolve. You recognize the prison. You see through the illusion. You understand the Archonic system. You recognize that this world is not your home and that you are imprisoned here temporarily. You discover your divine nature. You realize you are not a human having a spiritual experience. You are a divine being having a temporary human experience. You are a fragment of God incarnated in matter. You develop spiritual practice. Meditation becomes essential, not optional. You practice daily. You guard your energy. You work consciously with breath, with visualization, with declarations. You begin teaching others. People are drawn to you. You start sharing what you have learned. You help other souls who are beginning their own dark night. Your presence alone begins to shift energy. You notice that your frequency affects rooms, situations, people. When you are present, chaos calms. When you speak truth, people respond, either with recognition or with resistance. This is Stage 2, and it is seductive. Many chosen ones plateau here. They mistake illumination for liberation. They think because they have had spiritual experiences and recognize the prison, they have completed the journey. But Stage 2 is not the destination. It is the middle. The real work, the work that actually frees you, happens in Stage 3. The work of Stage 2. Develop consistent daily spiritual practice. Do not rely on spontaneous experiences. Build the disciplines that maintain high frequency. Study esoteric teachings, Gnostic texts, mystical Christianity, Hermetic principles, mystery school wisdom. Deepen your understanding of how reality works. Test your experiences. Not all visions are divine. The archons can create false spiritual experiences to keep you distracted. Learn discernment. Begin active service. Help others who are ready, but set boundaries. Do not let service become energy drain. Transmute your sexual energy. Learn retention and redirection. This is essential for Stage 3 breakthrough. Face your shadow completely. The dark night began this work, but Stage 2 requires you to go deeper, to see and integrate every hidden aspect of yourself. What Jesus taught about Stage 2. Jesus demonstrated Stage 2 through his ministry years. He performed miracles, taught with authority, demonstrated mastery over matter. He said, "The works that I do, you will do also, and greater works than these you will do." He was showing that Stage 2 unlocks spiritual capacities, healing, manifestation, consciousness expansion. But he also warned against getting stuck here. He said, "Not everyone who says to me, 'Lord, Lord,' will enter the kingdom of heaven." Many people have spiritual experiences, call themselves awakened, but never actually do the work required for liberation. He taught, "The kingdom of God does not come with observation, nor will they say, 'See here' or 'See there.' For indeed, the kingdom of God is within you." Stage 2 is about discovering that inner kingdom, recognizing your own divinity. Duration of Stage 2. Stage 2 can last 3 to 10 years or even longer. Many chosen ones spend their entire lives here, having beautiful spiritual experiences but never advancing to actual liberation. You know you have completed Stage 2 when spiritual experiences become less important than spiritual practice, when you stop seeking validation through mystical encounters, and when you recognize that awakening is not about what you experience, but about who you become. The transition to Stage 3 is marked by a new crisis, not the dark night of Stage 1, but a different kind of death, the death of the spiritual ego, the recognition that even your awakened identity must dissolve for true liberation.
Stage 3. The liberation, sovereignty, and mission. Stage 3 is the rarest. Very few souls reach it, because Stage 3 requires something most people, even awakened people, refuse to do: complete surrender of the separate self. Not the death of Stage 1. That was death of false personality. Stage 3 is death of the individual soul itself. The recognition that even your spiritual identity, your awakened self, your sense of being a chosen one, is ultimately another layer of illusion to be transcended. This is the final death, and on the other side of it is liberation. Characteristics of Stage 3. You live in witnessing consciousness. You are no longer identified with your thoughts, emotions, body, or even your spiritual experiences. You witness all of it as consciousness observing itself. You embody sovereignty completely. No person, system, or entity has authority over you. You are ungovernable. You operate from inner knowing, not external validation. You complete your mission. You do the work you came here to do, not what the world thinks is important. What your soul knows is essential. You prepare for conscious death. You are not afraid of death. You understand it is the doorway out. And you are learning to die consciously so you do not get trapped in reincarnation. You radiate high frequency effortlessly. You no longer have to try to maintain high vibration. It is your natural state. The archons cannot approach you. Lower consciousness cannot affect you. You exist beyond the prison while still in it. You are in the world, but not of the world. You participate in material life, but are not bound by it. You know with certainty you are going home. This is Stage 3. And souls at this level are dangerous to the Archonic system because they are about to escape permanently. The work of Stage 3. Release all remaining attachments, not just to material things, attachments to spiritual identity, to being special, to your story as a chosen one. Maintain zero tolerance for low-frequency engagement. You guard your energy with absolute discipline. Practice conscious dying, meditation on death, visualization of the exit path, preparation for refusing reincarnation. Teach from embodiment, not from concept. You do not share information, you transmit frequency. Complete your soul contracts. Whatever agreements you made before incarnating, fulfill them so you can exit cleanly. Face the final test. The Archons will send their most intense attacks around this stage because they know you are about to escape. What Jesus taught about Stage 3. Jesus embodied Stage 3 fully. After resurrection, he was no longer bound by material laws. He appeared in locked rooms. He ascended beyond the planetary spheres. He returned to the Father. He said, "I have overcome the world." John 16:33. This is Stage 3 consciousness, complete transcendence while still in form. He said, "It is finished." John 19:30. Stage 3 is about completing what you came to do so you can exit without needing to return. He commissioned his disciples, "Go therefore and make disciples of all nations." Matthew 28:19. Stage 3 souls teach, not from need for validation, but from completion of mission. Duration of Stage 3. Stage 3 can last 5 to 20 years, depending on how much work remains. You know Stage 3 is complete when you die consciously and exit the reincarnation system permanently, ascending to the pleroma and returning to the monad. This is the goal. This is liberation. This is what all 3 stages have been preparing you for.
Where are you on the journey? Read through the 3 stages again. Be honest with yourself. Where are you? If you are in Stage 1, accept the dark night. Do not try to escape it. This is necessary destruction. The faster you surrender to it, the faster you move through it. If you are in Stage 2, do not plateau here. Do not mistake spiritual experiences for liberation. Deepen your practice. Face your shadow completely. Prepare for Stage 3. If you are in Stage 3, complete your mission. Prepare for conscious exit. You are almost home. Most people watching this are likely in Stage 1 or early Stage 2. You have begun questioning. You have had some spiritual experiences. You recognize the prison. This is significant. You are rare. Most of humanity never even begins. But do not stop here. The journey is not complete until you exit the system permanently. The danger of skipping stages. Many souls try to skip stages. They read about Stage 3 consciousness and try to embody it without completing Stage 1 and 2. This always fails. You cannot have Stage 3 sovereignty without Stage 2 recognition of your divine nature. You cannot have Stage 2 illumination without Stage 1 death of false self. Each stage is preparation for the next. Each stage builds capacity that the next stage requires. Trying to skip stages is spiritual bypassing, pretending you are further along than you are. And spiritual bypassing keeps you trapped because you're avoiding the actual work.
How to accelerate the journey. You cannot skip stages, but you can move through them more quickly by refusing to resist the process. Whatever stage you are in, surrender to it fully. Do not try to rush to the next stage. Complete where you are. Practicing daily without exception. Meditation, breath work, declarations, energy work. These practices accelerate development at every stage. Seeking truth relentlessly. Never stop questioning. Never accept final answers. The journey continues until you exit permanently. Serving others while protecting your energy. Helping others accelerates your own development, but only if you maintain boundaries. Transmuting sexual energy. This is essential for Stage 2 to Stage 3 breakthrough. Retaining and redirecting this energy creates the power needed for final liberation. Preparing for conscious death. The entire journey is preparation for the moment you exit. Study death. Visualize the exit. Know what you will do when the time comes.
The 3 stages are not linear. While there is a general progression, the stages overlap and cycle. You may complete Stage 1, enter Stage 2, then face another dark night that feels like Stage 1 returning. This is normal. Each cycle goes deeper. You may have Stage 3 experiences while still in Stage 2. This is a preview, not completion. Or you may feel like you have completed Stage 2, only to realize you are still clinging to spiritual identity and need to go deeper into Stage 3 work. The journey is spiral, not linear. Each revolution brings you closer to liberation.
Why most chosen ones never complete the journey. Most chosen ones begin the journey, but never complete it. Why? Because each stage has exit points, places where souls give up and return to sleep. Stage 1 exit point: the dark night is too painful. They numb, distract, refuse to continue. They return to unconscious living. Stage 2 exit point: the illumination is so beautiful they mistake it for completion. They plateau here, enjoying spiritual experiences, but never doing the hard work of Stage 3. Stage 3 exit point: the final death, surrender of spiritual identity, is too terrifying. They cling to being a chosen one and never fully liberate. The Archons exploit these exit points. They know where souls are most likely to give up, and they engineer circumstances to encourage quitting at each stage.
Jesus completed all 3 stages. Jesus is not just a religious figure to worship. He is a way-shower who demonstrated the complete journey. Stage 1, his 40 days in the wilderness, the dark night, the testing, the death of illusions. Stage 2, his ministry years, the illumination, the miracles, the teaching, the recognition of his divine nature. Stage 3, his crucifixion, resurrection, and ascension. The final death, the liberation, the exit from the system. He did not do this so you could worship him from a distance. He did it to show you the way. And he said explicitly, "Follow me," not admire me, not worship me. Follow. Walk the path I walked. Complete the stages I completed. Exit the prison as I exited. This is what chosen ones are called to do.
Your current stage is perfect. Wherever you are on the journey right now is exactly where you need to be. Do not judge yourself for being in Stage 1. Do not feel pride for being in Stage 2. Do not feel inadequate if Stage 3 seems impossibly far away. You are where you are. The only question is, will you continue? Will you do the work required to move to the next stage? Will you complete what you came here to do? The 3 stages are not punishment. They are the path home. And every step you take on this path weakens the prison for everyone else.
Conclusion. The 3 stages of awakening are Stage 1, the dark night, crisis and questioning. Stage 2, the illumination, recognition and practice. Stage 3, the liberation, sovereignty and mission. You cannot skip stages. You cannot fake completion. You must walk the path fully. Jesus walked it. He showed you the way. He completed all 3 stages and exited the prison permanently.
And he said, "Where I am going, you cannot follow me now, but you will follow later." He was not saying you could never follow. He was saying, not yet. First, you must complete the journey. The 3 stages are that journey. And if you are a chosen one, you are called to complete them. The Archons know this. That is why they try to keep you stuck at stage 1 or stage 2. That is why they create exit points at each stage. But you know now. You see the path. You understand the stages. The question is, will you walk it? Will you complete what you came here to do? Your liberation depends on it.